So, in the last lecture, we have learned about construction of MOSFET. We have also learned the operation of the MOS transistor as well as how to draw the ideal ID VDS characteristics. So, we have learned systematically as the MOSFET is the voltage control device and the controlling parameter is here gate to source voltage, and as we vary the value of the gate to source voltage, how the change would be there in the channel region, and because of that whatever the impact of the change of voltage gate to source voltage as well as the VDS also on the drain current we have seen in the last lecture, and we have get a very good picture to elaborate the concept or elaborate the reason of operation of the MOSFET through the ID VDS curve. And we have ended our lecture on this particular slide or this particular topic, circuit symbol and conventions. So we know that as we have discussed already, there are the three circuit symbols has been be shown for the MOSFET. This is very important. You have to be remember, because whenever you have to be draw the circuit, you have to know what is the correct symbol for the N channel enhancement type MOSFET. So out of these three diagram, in the last lecture also I have mentioned, the first one is important for our subject, and that would be used in the future lectures also. This is the okay. So I just revise it. Why this kind of symbol is representing the N channel enhancement type MOSFET. This is the gate terminal, and this is the drain, and S for the source, and B for the body of the substrate. And if you have to be see, there is a gate is separated from the rest of the terminals, because as per the construction we know that gate is isolated by means of dielectric, that is SiO2, from the rest of the substrate. That's why this gap is here. Similarly, as it is enhancement type MOSFET, so drain, source and substrate or body is not connected to each other. There is some isolation in between. That's why these dashed line are used, because it is enhancement mode. If it is a depletion mode, then there is a straight line. Then as the drain and source both are N channel made up of the N channel material and separated with each other, in between there is a channel is there. So this is the channel we can consider, and as we know that the current would be always flow from drain to source for the N channel MOSFET, so the direction of current is also from drain to source, and body is the terminal where we have to be form the channel. So this is the body terminal is there. We have to be see in the further points how to use this. Now we have learned the construction of MOSFET, we have learned the ID VDS characteristics of the MOSFET in the ideal case. Now we have to be moved to the circuit. So if you have to be see, the most basic circuit is going to use using the N channel enhancement type MOSFET is the common source circuit. Okay, so this common source circuit is we are going to learn today. So one of the basic N channel enhancement type MOSFET circuit configuration is the common source. Actually there is a three configuration. Out of two configuration we are going to learn in this subject or in this chapter. First one is the common source, second one is the common gate, and third one is the common drain. That is also called as a source follower. But today we are going to learn the common source circuit. It is the most prominently used configuration of the MOSFET circuits. Now, what is the common source actually? What do you mean? We know that MOSFET has the four terminals construction wise, but as a circuit wise we generally use the three terminals. These terminals are drain, source and gate, and by using these three terminals we have to make the two port devices. That is a two port. It is also called a two port devices, and we have to use these circuits. So as the name suggests that it is a common source, so the common terminal is source terminal. So in this case, the source terminal is at the ground potential, or either it is common to both the input and output portion of the circuit. If you have connected the source terminal like this, that it is common to the input portion of the circuit as well as the output portion, or it is connected to the most lowest potential or ground terminal, this is called as a common source. Here in the next slide you have to see the circuit diagram also, where we are going to use the coupling capacitor CC, and it would be act as an open circuit for the DC, but allow the signal voltage to the couple to the gate MOSFET. For the DC signal, if you have to see, the coupling capacitor would be DC, it is act as an open circuit, and for the signal voltage means AC signal, it would be act as a short circuit. Can anyone tell me why it is happens so? This is the circuit diagram for the common source circuit using the N channel MOSFET. Can anyone tell me why this coupling capacitor act as an open circuit for DC that I have mentioned in the previous slide? For DC it is open circuit. Can anyone tell me the answer? You have learned the electrical circuit in the first year in very detail, all the component, and I think out of that the capacitor is also one of the components. Resistor, capacitor, inductor, these are all the passive devices, and this would be a building block, or it is helpful to construct any electronic circuit. So the resistor we have very much familiar, that is a purpose of the resistor is to resist the flow of current. So here in the diagram, circuit diagram, there is a 3 resistors we have used. We have to come to the configuration also, there is a different type of biasing, and out of that we have one of the biasing used here. Can anyone tell me first of all why this coupling capacitor is acting as open circuit in the DC voltage, applied DC voltage? See, no one is known the answer. Any answer, either you are wrong, it doesn't matter. I would be correct. Okay. See, like resistor having the property to resist the flow of current. Similarly, capacitor, it is also a passive device that would be also resist the flow of current on its capacity. But here instead of the resistor would be having the parameter resistance. According to Ohm's law, we know that what is the resistance is actually. So similarly, the capacitors will be also offer some, that is called the reactance, and reactance is basically represented by the Xc. The reactance generated by the capacitor, it is represented as a Xc. Okay, if it is reactance offered by the inductor, it is XL. Now, what is the formula, or what is the relationship between the reactance offered by the capacitor and the frequency of the signal applied? So it is 1 upon 2 pi f c, and here the capacitor is Cc, so it is C. The reactance offered by this coupling capacitor is 1 upon 2 pi f Cc. So here you can see that the relationship between the reactance and the frequency of the signal is inversely proportional. Means as the frequency of signal would be decreased, reactance would be increased. Similarly, reactance is also inversely proportional to the capacitance. As the capacitor size would be increased, or the value of the capacitor would be increased, your reactance would be decreased. So I am asking the question that in the DC, this capacitor would be acting as an open circuit. So see here, at the DC, what is the value of the frequency? Can anyone tell me? What is the value of the frequency for the DC case? It is a very simple question. I want the answer from 0. Yes, very correct. Frequency is 0 for the DC signal. So as the f would be 0, then what happens? Xc would be become infinite or nearly to infinite, very high value. If the reactance is very high or nearly infinite, that means what? It would be not allow the flow of current across it. It would be not allow the flow of charge carriers across it. So it would be act as an insulating material, you can say, insulations, current insulation. So it would be act as a open circuit. This is the main reason, because at the DC, reactance offered by the capacitance is nearly infinite, so it would be act as an open circuit. So whatever the voltage source you would be connect here, it would be not allowed to pass the current. So it would be act as an open circuit. You can disconnect from the circuitry also. Okay, that's why if you have to be see, we are now today are going to analyze the DC analysis actually. So this is the basic NMOS common source circuit. See, for this subject you have to be keep a notebook. Do not take it as just a other kind of the theoretical lecture, because this subject is analytical scope also as well as the theoretical concept भी है, and you have to be also the solve the numericals and the analytical equations. There are lots of the things are there. So take a notebook with you and draw the circuit. These circuit structures are very important, and practice to draw this circuit, because this circuit would be also used in the practical also and theoretical examination also. You have to be solve lots of the analysis based on the circuit. Okay, now if you have to be see the DC equivalent, as I have told you that this capacitor would be act as an open circuit for the DC. So that's why the DC equivalent circuit of NMOS common source is capacitor is absent. If the capacitor is absent, means it is open. So VI would be also absent, because it doesn't having any impact on the circuit operation. If it is open, so it is also disappeared. Okay, the point is clear up to this level. Now now we have to be come to the point that what type of biasing I have used here. So if you have to be see, there are different biasing techniques are available for the circuitry. It is not mentioned in your syllabus, but I've just little bit mentioned here. You can either use a self bias circuit, you can either use a voltage divider bias circuit, or other biasing techniques are also available. But out of all biasing techniques, voltage divider bias or potential divider bias also called as, it is the best biasing technique, because it would be give the maximum stability for the operation of the circuitry. Okay, so the circuit here in the figure number 11, it is nothing but a voltage divider bias circuit. So how to construct a voltage divider bias circuit? Yes, you have to be see. First of all, you have to be draw the MOSFET or whatever the device you are using. Since see, voltage divider circuit is valid also in the case of BJT based circuit, also valid in the case of JFET based circuit, also used in the MOSFET based circuit. Biasing techniques are similar, only the devices would be changed. So here you can see a most basic part of the voltage divider circuit. This is the DC equivalent in the figure number 12. You can see you have to first draw this particular MOSFET. Okay, first you have to draw the MOSFET, whatever the type of MOSFET you have to want to draw, and after that take one resistor. This is the here drain. It is a drain terminal. What is this? This is your actually drain terminal. So this is your drain. In the N channel MOSFET, drain is always at the top and source is always at the opposite end, bottom. Okay, and this is your gate terminal. So in this way, first of all, you have to be indicate this three terminal, then it is easy for you to draw the rest of the circuit. This is up to the device MOSFET. Now you have to be connect a resistance between the supply voltage and the drain terminal, because it is the output terminal also. Drain is here, the output terminal is the drain. Okay, so here between the output terminal and the supply you have to be connect a resistor, that is called here a drain resistance, or also it is called as here a load resistance. Okay, and this is the first. Second, you have to be, as it is a common source configuration, you have to be connect the source terminal to the ground first. Okay, so you can see the half of the circuit has drawn. Half of the circuit is drawn. Whatever the partition I have shown here, right hand side, it is the half of the circuit is drawn for the case of voltage divider. In between the supply and drain terminal, you have to connect a resistor RD. In between the source and ground terminal, you have to be connected directly through the wire. Without, you can connect a resistor, it doesn't matter if you are not connected. Okay, but the source terminal always should be connected to the ground. As per the configuration, we know that common source. Okay, now if you have to be see, what was the next? The left hand side of this partition. Now again, in between the, we have to be close the loop. It is very important. There is no open loop system in the electronic circuits. We have to be close this loop. So for the closing this loop, we have to be connect two resistors. Okay, R1 and R2. Okay, so first we have to be connect like a series R1 and R2, and this R1 and R2 is connected. So one terminal of R2 is connected to the ground here, and one terminal of the R1 is connected to VDD. Okay, and after this, whatever the remaining unconnected terminal is a gate, you have to be connect the gate terminal with the in between of the R1 and R2. It would be make a partition, potential divider. So now R1 and R2 become parallel. Now R1 and R2 become parallel because there is a branch has been generated from this particular node. Okay, so if you in this way you have to be draw. If it is a blackboard, then it is very easy to teach you this kind of circuit diagram. But okay, I have tried. So this I am just show you the step by step how to make this circuit, and make a practice on your notebook to draw this circuit, because you have to be required to draw this circuit without seeing any reference. This circuit would be used you for solving the numericals, for the theoretical answers of the examination, and as well as the practical examination as. Because first 3 or 4 practical are based on this MOSFET common source circuit. So see, practice and practice this. Now you have to be see here at the analysis part. These are two resistors R1 and R2 are parallel as per this configuration. So the node voltage is here. It is called. It is connected to the gate, so it is called as a VG. Okay. Supply voltage is the VDD. There is a two. This is a DC voltage. Okay. VDD supply voltage is always a DC. We never use the AC voltage as a supply, and the supply voltage is required to use for biasing the transistor in desired region of operation. So can anyone have any idea what is the desired region of operation in this case? First of all, you have to be know that what are the reasons where the MOSFET actually works. We have discussed in the yesterday. Okay, two reasons I have shown you. I just again go back to that particular slide. Then you have to be no. This is very important. I little bit I have discussed two reasons, but one reason I have missed out. So we have seen this diagram. Okay, in this diagram you can easily see that wherever there is a flat region, that is the saturation region. We have discussed what is the condition for that. The condition is that your gate to source voltage should be greater than threshold. First condition. Second condition is that your drain to source voltage should be greater than the VDS sat. This is the saturation region, and in this region your MOSFET would be act as what? It would be act as amplifier. It would be act as amplifier. Okay. So we know that MOSFET is electronic device that could be having the two operations. One is as a switch, another is as an amplifier. In the saturation region, MOSFET would be act as an amplifier. And left hand side of this particular transition region, or this particular saturation point, this is the saturation point, this is the saturation point. So this is the region that is called the non-saturation or triode region. Here the condition is that VGS should be greater than VTN again, but it should be less than VDS should be less than VTS set. So this is a non-saturation. In this region, it would be act as a what? MOSFET would be act as a switch. It would be act as a switch. Okay. But which type of switch? There are two types of switch: open switch and closed switch. So if there is a current is available, so it is called the closed switch. So in the non-saturation region or triode region, MOSFET acting as a closed switch. But apart from these two reasons, one more reason is there. And what is this reason is that, or condition is that? Condition is that VGS should be less than VTN. Threshold, when the gate to source voltage is less than the threshold voltage, it is called the another reason, and that reason is below this particular curve. It is the reason. This is the main reason here, where your drain current is zero. When your drain current is zero, and this reason is called as, this particular reason is called as what? Cut off reason. This is called as cut off reason. Okay, this is called as cut off region. So these are the three regions. In the cutoff region, MOSFET would be act as an open switch. So these are the three regions of operation of MOSFET. Cutoff, where the ID is 0 and VGS is less than the threshold, that is called the cutoff, and here it is acting, MOSFET is acting as an open switch, means it would be not allow the flow of any current. Second is the non-saturation region, where the VGS is greater than the VTN and VDS is less than VDS sat, that is where your MOSFET will be act as a closed switch. And third is the reason which would be most useful reason, that is saturation region, when the condition is VGS is greater than threshold as well as VDS is larger than VDS saturation. So in this region it would be acting as an amplifier, and we have to be focused on this saturation region because we have concern to act as an amplifier actually. Now we have to be here, this equivalent circuit of this. So here the two terminal voltage we have defined. Another voltage is in between the drain terminal and the source terminal, that is called the VDS. This is the output voltage here. VDS is the output voltage as per this circuit. Okay, and one current would be start to flow from drain to source terminal. Drain to source terminal, there is a one current is start to flow, that is called the ID. This is the drain current, and this is also called the output current. So in the MOSFET based circuit, only one current is flown, that is called the ID. There is no another current is flow, no IS. Sometimes in the circuit for the convention we show that there is a one current, that is the IS, that is flowing through the source terminal, but it is actually the same value. ID is equal to IS. So that means there is only one current. Third one is the portion, that is a gate terminal. You can see we have discussed the gate terminal. So here in between the through the gate terminal there is no current would be allowed to flow, that is a zero current. So Ig is always zero. In the case of MOSFET based circuit, Ig is always zero. Okay. So can anyone tell me why the Ig is zero? Anyone has any idea why the Ig is zero here? Can anyone has any idea why the Ig is zero? Because MOSFET having the very high input impedance. Nearly for ideal MOSFET it is infinity, and for the practical MOSFET it is very high value. So because of this very high value of input impedance or input resistance, it does not allow the flow of any current across this terminal. That's why IG is always zero in all kinds of configuration in all circuits for the case of MOSFET based circuit. And there is a one another voltage is input voltage, that is VGS, which will get to source terminal, because source is common to input side also as well as the output side. That's why it is VGS is the input voltage, VDS is the output voltage. So these are the main parameter, VGS, ID and VDS. One another parameter you can consider the gate voltage. And there is a one current is flowing across this particular gate voltage, this time R1, that is called the I. Any current you can consider I. This current is flowing from the VDD to ground through the R1 and R2. So we have to be seeing in the further analysis what is the importance of this, all these parameter that we have defined. Okay. Now, in the DC analysis, we use a notation for the DC current and voltage. Okay, we have. I have also not teach you that what kind of notations basically we use in the terms of voltage, current, and this. Okay, so we have to see as orally. If I want to say that if you want to indicate a DC voltage or current, so always use the capital letters. Means voltage V capital, current I capital, and their terminal indications are also capital VDS, VGS. But for the case of AC voltage or current, all the factors are small. V is small, I is small. So it is the indication of AC voltage and current. And if it is a combination of AC and DC, sometimes it is also happen. Then you have to use the notation voltage. For voltage, it is a V is small, and whatever the terminal, for example, GS, VGS. So V is small and GS is capital. Means what? It is a combination of DC plus AC voltage. Similarly, small I and capital D is a notation suffix. So this is the combination of AC plus DC drain current. Okay. So this is the way that we have to be identify that it is a DC voltage or DC current, AC voltage or AC current is there. So these are the very important information. We have to be know that. Now move to the next. Since the gate current into the transistor is zero, so voltage at the gate is given by the voltage divider and could be written as like this. So I think all of you are familiar how to apply the voltage divider rule for finding out the voltage. So here you can see that VG is equal to VGS, because there is no source resistance. That's why you can consider the VG is equal to VGS. Okay, and that is equal to R2 upon R1 plus R2 into VDD in the equation 1. So see in the previous diagram how we have to be find out. Okay, what they are saying that first of all, I erase this all. They are saying that for the DC condition, this as per the formula of the potential divided by, how can there is a gate current is zero, so we do not consider this branch now because there is a current is not flowing. So we can consider this is one circuit. Now we have to be considered that R1 and R2 are connected to the in series, because this branch is up. Just take it as a absent. This is not present here because there is no current. So there is only one terminal, that is VDD. Okay, there is a VDD, and from this terminal there is a two resistance are there. There is a one term, another in between. There is a partition. There is another resistance, and there is a ground terminal. This is the R1, and this is your R2. And this is the point where the partition is there. It is called as the VG. and here VG is same as the VGS because there is no source current. Okay. So what is the, according to voltage divider rule? Suppose there is some current is flowing also, there is I. According to voltage division rule is what? VG is equal to, what is the VG? VG is nothing but the potential drop across the resistor R2. VG is nothing but the potential drop across the resistor R2. So potential drop across this resistor R2. Okay. So this is the VG because VG is the voltage between this terminal, gate terminal and the ground terminal. So it is what? I into R2 because I is flowing across this. So I into R2 is nothing but VG. This is one of the Ohm's law according to Ohm's law. But as per the potential divider rule, because it is the in between of the two series resistance, so it is R2 in the numerator divided by R1 plus R2 multiply with the total voltage. Supply voltage is here is VDD. That's why in the next slide it is shown like this. VG is equal to R2 upon R1 plus R2 into VD. As the source resistance is absent, so VG is equal to VGS. Okay. So assuming gate to source voltage is given by the equation 1 is greater than the threshold voltage VTN, and because of this assumption, transistor is biased in the saturation region. We have to also assume that transistor is biased in the saturation region first. Second assumption is we have to assume that it is greater than the threshold voltage. So what should be the formula of drain current now? The formula of the drain current is ID is equal to Kn VGS minus VTN whole square. We have already seen in the last lecture what is the formula for drain current in the saturation region. So here also ID is equal to what? ID is equal to Kn. This is the conduction parameter, and gate to source voltage, this voltage VGS, and threshold minus threshold whole square. Okay, this is the current formula. But drain current is here what? In this case, ID, the value of ID is equal to Kn VGS minus VTN whole square. Now, the drain to source voltage is what? So we have to be C. VDS is equal to VDD minus IDRD. VDS equal to VDD minus IDRD. So it is very much easy to find out this formula or this equation actually from the Kirchhoff's voltage rule. How the formula of VDS would be defined? From the Kirchhoff's voltage rule. So according to KVL, what is the equation here? According to KVL, what is the equation? We have to apply the KVL, Kirchhoff's voltage rule. VDD, we have to be considered this output loop, okay? Only this output. This is equal to VDD minus, what is the current is flowing across RD? So it is ID RD minus this voltage drop VDS minus VDS. It is equal to, there is no source resistance, so it is 0. So it is equal to 0. So this is the relationship. VDD minus IDRD minus VDS is equal to 0. The same is actually used here. Drain to source voltage VDS is equal to VDD minus IDRD. Now, if this VDS, this value of VDS would be greater than the VDS sat, if VDS is greater than the VDS sat, that is equal to VDS sat, we have known the value of VDS as VGS minus VTN. So it is greater than this, then the transistor is biased in the saturation region. We have already discussed this as we initially assumed, and our analysis is correct. But if when we solving the numerical, if VDS is coming less than VDS set, then our assumption is wrong. Means it is not working in the saturation region. So in this condition, transistor is biased in the non-saturation region. So we have to again recalculate the drain current. At that time, if this condition would be met, so our calculation drain current value would be wrong. So we have to be again move to the recalculation of the current. And which formula we are going to use for the recalculation of the current is this formula. ID is equal to Kn twice of VGS minus VTN into VDS minus VDS square. This is the current formula for the non-saturation region. So these two formulas are very important current formula, either the saturation region formula or non-saturation region formula. If you do not remember this, then you can't be solved the numerical, because if your assumption is coming wrong, so you have to be find out the current. Okay, so at that time you have to be remember this formula. Is it clear up to this point? DC analysis clear hai?
Yes,
No
sir.
response is coming. Anyone has
Yes,
any
sir.
doubt? Because it is very important
No, sir.
analysis. Okay, good. Some response is coming. Thank you. Okay, now very less time is remaining, less than 1 minute. And we have to be also go with the very important concept, DC load line. So next lecture we will be take this topic, and everyone please attend with your notebook and pen. It is very important concept, most important concept of this chapter, DC load line. Okay, and one of the numerical I have given you to solve. Anyone has solved that numerical? Anyone has solved this numerical? If you have solved this numerical, please post your solution to me in my personal WhatsApp. Today, the very last time we have to discuss next